mobile home industry. From the bottom to the top, he climbed the ladder of success. Investing in them trailers, he was bound to impress. Started off with nothing, just a dream in his mind. But he had that fire burning, couldn't be confined. He saw potential in the mobile homes, a hidden treasure. Flipped him like a pro, turned him into a real estate pleasure. J Garcia, the mobile home king.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Mobile Home Confessions in Cars. I got a special guest coming on board here in a few minutes. We are already on the way to go pick him up, and he's going to be talking about Mobile Home Confessions, the raw, unedited, the stuff you don't hear from the gurus. Okay, this stuff doesn't get blasted out. You're going to hear about it here first. But before we get started, let's talk about the car. So today's episode, we decided to go with a Toyota Supra. A fan. I've always been a fan. It's Toyota, kind of, when people say Toyota, I think Camrys, but this is far from a Camry. You know, Toyota Supras, they stopped making Supras after 06 models. And I mean, those cars, 2JZ engines, I'm a fan of cars. Twin turbo, I mean, these things were massive. I mean, they were producing anywhere from 1,000 to about 1,500 horsepower. Yes, nasty little cars. I mean, powerful. And I mean, you're thinking about it's a V6 is the thing. These are not V8 made vehicles, V10s, V12s that we've been playing around with these exotics. So when you think about for instance, this one, a 3.0 V6 producing almost 500 horsepower stock. Remember that, stock. Okay. And what made it more interesting with this one here, the GR, is these are the special edition, only 500 of them made. Even more interesting, the engine is now it's almost a mix of, it's between a Toyota and a BMW. Yes, they have teamed up together. Maybe that's where the power's coming from, okay? But it's still 3.0 V6 twin turbo, almost 500 horsepower. Love it. We'll play around with this a little bit more. We'll go out and drive it, of course. Let's go pick up Brian. All right, so we got Brian in the car, mobile home investor, park owner, like I mentioned. Brian, how long you been doing this? How long you been in the game?
Let's see, I was a mortgage broker for about 20 years here in Orlando, and thanks for coming down and joining me.
We're in Orlando.
Orlando, Florida.
Yes, it's hot.
Welcome to the heat.
Yeah.
And then I was a hard money lender, and then shortly thereafter, I've been doing mobile home parks. I've been in apartment complexes, duplexes, quads. Ended up settling with mobile home parks probably about. I've been doing it over 30 years.
Always ask, why not traditional real estate?
Traditional real estate meaning like real estate homes?
Stick built, family?
I've done them. Well, so it's more like you grab a house, you fix it up, you sell it, one and done. Duplex, good for the money. Quadruplex, good for the money. But again, you're still doing the doors, drawers, and hot water heaters. Whereas I like the mobile home parks where the people own their own homes inside the park.
Yeah, for sure.
So, now also they're the lowest priced entity. So as we slide into the proverbial recession, where are the majority of the people going to move? They're going to move. They're going to downsize. So I think you've got stability there. And even if a couple people have to leave because of their jobs, you got plenty of people. We got people waiting in line to get into the parks we got going on.
Recession proof.
Recession proof.
Absolutely. How many parks you got now?
Got 4 right now.
4. Yeah. Up in Virginia.
Virginia.
I'll see how you deal with the cold.
Tennessee. Got 3 of them up in West Virginia.
So, tell me a crazy story in your communities.
There's a lot of them. Let's see. Crazy stories.
What's some more recent, maybe?
We can talk about getting rid of the drugs and stuff like that. That's probably that's probably the biggest thing. Is the crazy stories when you first walk in. What speaks to you as a person? What speaks to me is going into a community and helping the people out. So how do we do that? Got to get rid of the drugs first. So I go in there with literally a bulletproof vest. I don't tell them I'm coming up with a bulletproof vest, but I have a bulletproof vest, a dog, a gun, and a bottle of beer. Sit on the back of my truck, and I have about 14 days of growth around my face, torn jeans, torn t-shirts, a little bit of paint, stuff like that.
You're trying to fit in.
I am fitting in. But if they talk to me, they go, oh, there's a voice. You're not from around here. And so then they know. So I just sit quietly and observe. In 48 hours, I can find out where the drugs are. I'll find who the transporters are, who the buyers are, who the sellers are, I can find virtually anything, ask a couple questions, walk right up to a loopy person. He's willing to just loose lips, sink ships. I find out everything. And then the very next, within 24 hours, I issue a pink slip and I non-renew their lease. So you can either evict 3-day for non-payment, you can evict for violation of lease, or you non-renew their lease, and their majority of them are on month to month. So a non-renewal would be 30 days. I hand them a pink slip, and really you're thinking you're going to get kicked back and fight. Not at all. They just go, "You mean I got to move?" The answer is yes.
So they know they're doing drugs, or
it's assumed. They don't say, "Oh, because I'm doing drugs." No, they don't say that. But when you're walking up the walkway and you can just smell the weed, and when you get inside, and whether they're needle pushers, pill poppers, doing weed, it's still illegal. And so what I want is, what they do in the privacy of their home is okay, but when it starts bringing in the loopy people walking up and down the streets, then I can't have the children playing in the streets.
Yeah, sure.
And that's what speaks to me, is I want the children to be able to come out and do that.
We had a community like that. It was a mobile home. I think I talked about it on episode number 2. Y'all go see it. Second episode, but it was the same thing. They had a little drug convention going on.
Oh.
And we told them, I said, well, basically we can call the law, or you can evict the home. Gone over the weekend.
Yeah, they don't want any conflict. But the community that you're talking about is totally right. So the police zoom in on this one, they're like cockroaches. They go to the other one, and they go, oh, so they go to the different homes. I find out which one of those homes are, and then I non-renew them all. Oh. Now, what's the bad part of that is that now you incur the expenses of the new lights, the walls, the paint, the odor removal, the flooring, but totally worth it. So I literally went into a community that was barely 65%. Well, it was fully occupied 65% after I got rid of all the drugs. Now I'm 100% occupied 5 months later, but it's a little bit of a heavy lift. And you're coming out of pocket good coin, 10, 20 grand.
But you're providing a community now. And now you're getting rid of the troublesome, if you will, which obviously previous park owners allowing that to happen, because they know, park owners know something's happening, but they don't care to do anything. So right. You've ever done a deal and immediately regretted it?
A storage facility.
Justin was talking about that. Tell me, I want to hear about
Bought
this.
A storage facility in the Maggie Valley area, and had it for 60 days, and I sold it. Made about 25 grand. I just didn't want to do it.
Well, you still made money.
I still made money. Yeah, I'm not going to not make money.
What was bad about it? The investment.
I didn't like the turnover of the people. I didn't like the smaller amount. Like, oh, we can raise the rent by 20%. Well, wait a minute. If you're at $65 and you raise it by 20%, you're raising it what? $13? It just didn't jazz me. It wasn't, and I didn't see as though I was providing a service to the community. Whereas in a mobile home park, I'm literally making it so that you walk outside your home and it looks nice, with the grass is cut and no more broken bottles.
You have a passion for mobile home parks.
I have a passion for people and helping
there
people.
You go.
And now the mobile home parks, I like it because of the number level, the expense. Like, I'm not buying a whole bunch of single family homes, buying the mobile homes and then turning it back over to the existing residents. Now there's pride in ownership, and I sit back and I collect the rent checks.
So you're saying turnover? What is the typical turnover you see in your communities?
Turnover. Now, we were talking about a turnover inside the storage facilities.
Right.
As the mobile home parks, very minimal. Unless they've lost their job, they're looking to go get a place for a higher paying job. Unless maybe potentially divorce. So the 5 Ds, divorce, default, death, destruction. If you just don't take care of the property. Like, I went into these places, the prior owners, I refer to them as the slumlords. They didn't fix a faucet. People were living with only hot water coming out of their spigots.
Wow. Just
something that's, I reached down, pulled the water one up, put a shark bite on it, put it up there, and you think I gave them the world. They're all happy about a water, So yeah, it's the stories could go on. Like, get a phone call. What's going on? Oh, we got a bear on our front porch. A bear. Yeah, a bear. Well, shoo it away. Well, they're trying to get in the door because the door lock doesn't work. So I got to fix the door lock.
Oh my Jesus.
We got a rat. What do you mean you got a rat? You open up the piece of wood and there's a big hole, because you don't think when they do a repair that they're going to fill it with foam. No. Just leave it wide open so that there's air, so that rats can come up there. And
now there is some needy tenants. There is some needy people that live. I mean, I've had some that I felt like I'm a phone call away from delivering room service. Every little day, just, hey, the neighbor's out there being loud. Hey, there's cats in the lawn. Hey, what do you want me to do about it?
Well, if the neighbor's out in your lawn, you respectfully approach them and go talk to them. The cats are in the yard. They're not supposed to have cats. Go ahead and call the animal control. I try to push it back to them on their responsibility, so then they will stop calling you. But at the same time, some of them are valid. Like the hood vent. She literally had to use pliers to turn the hood vent on and off of the stove. You feel bad for them, right? The door was loose, and the bear was trying to get into her door. So my maintenance guy, go over there and put a deadbolt on it.
Literally trying to open it.
Yes. Well, it could bring the nails around the corner of that thing and try to pull it open. It's not aggressive. It just smells apple pie. It just wants to get in. And so the bears come down, grab the garbage, drag it up slope, and then they tear it all apart. And now you look up the slope and there's all a bunch of garbage. So then I grab the local kids, pay them 20 or 30. Oh, this little one, he goes, pay me 40. I said, you got it. Just for asking, I paid him 40 to go up there and clean the garbage off the slopes. So you get the community involved, and then ask them to fix up their blinds.
Okay.
If your blinds are all cattywampus, I'm going to buy you your first set of blinds at $10 to $12 from Walmart. And this is not an advertisement, but that's your cheap blinds. Put them in there, and then if they destroy the blinds, then the responsibility is on their shoulders to get them fixed. Get rid of the concrete blocks. Get rid of the trash. Maybe and the tenants were responsible for their own trash removal. And where do you think the trash goes? Because then you got to pay $20 a month. No. They throw it underneath the underpinning, or in the back bedroom. We got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Well, one's just for trash. And then you wonder why you got rats all over the place.
Oh my God.
So I absorbed the trash collection. Now all of a sudden they're able to bring it out and they don't have to pay it. But I raised their rent by over $20, so they're still paying for it. It's just that now I've got the responsibility, but I'm getting the trash out of there now.
There you go.
Yeah, I could keep you busy for a long time.
Now, bears. That's up north, not in Georgia.
That's
right?
up in West Virginia.
Thank God. Yeah,
Right.
keep on going on the bears down here. So when it comes to deals, I'm always thinking about, and we're on the process of closing a mobile home park also.
Awesome.
But how persistent are you?
Nonstop. But it's all very respectful. In other words, squeaky wheel gets the grease. Any of these mom and pop shops that own them, or of all the deals, maybe one gets purchased through a broker. The rest are direct contact. And you know what? Everybody sends out the flyers. Everybody sends out the postcards. No, go direct. Like the last one that I got was, I knew as an older gentleman, 82, wants to get rid of it. In my mind, he wants to get rid of it. But how do I appeal to him? He's got a stack, an 2-inch stack of people wanting to buy his park. So I talked to the tenants and they said, he only comes by to pick up rent on the 1st and on the 5th. So what do you think I do? I hang out in the park till I find out what he drives, and I wait until I see him drive up. And I just walk up and approach him. I said, I'd like to take you to lunch. Could I take you to dinner? Something different than, hey, do you want to sell your park?
Professional.
No, I
yes.
don't. You have to appeal to them for what they want, not what we want. And in the end result is what we want is to buy the park at a reasonable price. But
I've heard people. I've jumped over the fence. I went through trespassing signs. I saw,
Yeah.
I don't know how creative you want to be. I think I like your approach better. Let me take you to lunch.
Well, take you to lunch, take you to break. Can I buy you some coffee? And then, well, what do you want? Well, I'm a fellow park owner. They like to know that you're local. They go, you don't talk like us. I go, that's true. I said, I moved on the site. I improved the park. I mentioned the name. And so he knew, that was a drug park. He knew it was a drug park. Mm-hmm. So for me to go in there and actually say that I've improved it, now he's got my attention because he may actually care about his people in his park too. And he's going to turn it over to somebody else. At 82 years old, how long do you want to collect rent? What if I stroked you a check for $800 or $1 million? Couldn't you go enjoy that instead? Except that if that's their own signature in life, maybe they want to continue to hold on to it. So then you have to nurture that relationship and continue to talk to them. Even after you take them out and they say they don't want to sell it, doesn't matter. How you do? What are you doing today? 2 months later, would you like to go out for another cup of coffee?
Follow up.
Nonstop. Follow up. It's and be genuine. It's not all about buying the park.
They asked Ryan Serhant, when do you stop approaching a potential seller? He said, when they die.
Well, of course, yeah. And being grateful to the people. Like when I was a mortgage broker, and I had one gentleman just absolutely angry. It was not my fault, but he was angry at me. And when he passed away, I contacted his wife to see if I could do anything to help. She goes, oh my gosh, Brian. She goes, I lost your number. I just wanted to talk to you. So it's the follow-up. And even when they do pass away, stay in touch with the family members as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, somebody's going to get the, obviously, properties or whatnot. So go to the next generation.
The key is being genuine. Because if you're fake, they can read through it.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting. That's tips for y'all. Okay. So a lot of investors think it's so easy. And I'm actually, we coach, we mentor, and a lot of, I call them students, they think it's, I just take one class. oh, I just do one coaching and I'm going to become a millionaire. It don't work like that. How hard has it been for you to get deals over the years?
Yeah. Is that a question?
It's a question, yes.
You never know where the deal's going to come from. You could be sitting at a tax sale looking for a piece of vacant land, and all of a sudden there's a mobile home park seller right next to you. You know, so it's going to take some work. It's not just going to happen overnight. Or I've heard the miracle, one day walked up like the park, bought it, and it worked. But just have other people's focus in mind and the betterment of the community of people around you, and the good will come to you. You know, karma, what you sow, so shall you reap. All these fun things are true and they're real. And you know what? What if it takes you 6 months to get a park? What if I'm working on one we've been working on for almost 3 years. Yeah, I still walk by, still don't want to sell, still don't want to sell. One of these days, because I've been persistent, I believe, and you have to believe it. It's all about, there's a little bit of metaphysical in there. You know,
how many lunches have you taken them to?
That particular family, I did not take them to lunch.
Oh, so that's
because the mother, yeah, that's it. Hold on. And you're always taking notes when you learn a little nugget, right? So I didn't take my own advice on that. But in this situation, the mother owned it. The mother passed away, left it to the daughter, and the daughter just simply wants the development of that park to fill her mother's dreams. Okay. So in my thought, like I close on land trusts or property trusts or LLCs, I wrote it in there saying that we must use tropical colors. So if we do, that's what you want, right? So you do the tropical colors, and if that were to appeal to her, that may very well give me the opportunity to get that park. Now, it hasn't closed yet, obviously. We're working on it, but I'm not giving up.
Absolutely. Brian wants to take me to view a mobile home park, apparently. We're going to go check it out. I don't know why he wants me to go there, but I'm cool with looking at mobile homes, mobile home parks. Before we go over there, Brian, what do you think about the car? Toyota Supra.
This is a sweet car. I saw it pull up into my, of course, it looked really good next to my Porsche. But this is a beautiful car. It caught my attention before you even got to the driveway.
Yeah, I like it. Just one of many more. Check out the other episodes we got. Brian, before we go across the street, tell me one of the biggest failures you had. And I call them biggest teachers.
Ooh, good question. Well, I can tell you one specific deal. Was it a failure? I don't look at anything as a failure. I look at it as learning one more way how not to do something.
Biggest teacher.
And so in one particular deal, the deal, and I can, as long as I don't mention the names, I guess it's okay. But the acquisition price was like $800,000, and the broker was going to make about $200,000 on the deal. And I said, wow. But it doesn't matter. You know, you're always going to leave meat on the bone, and as long as the deal makes sense for you, then it's okay. Then 30 days before closing, the seller comes in and says, oh, by the way, and I want you to buy 15 of my homes from me. Well, hold on for an extra $100,000. And I said, I'm out. And then I thought, I don't want to be out. How can I make this thing work? I'm not. So instead of 800, I'm not going to go to 900. I'm done. So I called the broker and I said, I'll tell you what, if you want me to stay in this deal, what I think you should probably do is take that portion of the funds and pay for it yourself. And then I'm in. And that's how we closed on the deal. So creativity, think of, if you want it bad enough, what can you do to restructure the deal to make it fit your needs while other people are benefiting? That's a good negotiating technique, is when you negotiate, you want the person that walks away to feel like they've made a good deal, and then you want to walk away as if you've made a good deal.
Absolutely. So win all the way around.
Win-win.
Let's go check out this mobile home park Brian wants to show.
Let's check it out. Yeah, we're watching it, and to give you a little bit of background in it, it's waterfront. So is it the highest and best use? I would venture to say that it may not be highest and best use unless you can jack those rents up, and you don't want to hurt the people. So that's what we're going to look at, and just keep your eyes open. Now keep your eyes open for the age of the homes. Sometimes you can tell the age of the homes based on the slope of the roof, whether it's apexed or whether it's sloped or whether it's rounded. These are going to be a little bit older homes.
Making notes.
Been here forever. And I've tried to buy it, but the person, I'm not going to say whether she's he or she, but ungodly amount of price that she's asking for it. So the answer is no, I don't want it.
Must
have
the value.
We are going to look at it, and we're going to see the value in it.
Let's go check it out.
Okay.
All right, so here we are pulling in. I'm going to let Brian tell you about it. So
for us to go in, as long as we're not mentioning any names, but this is, notice it's a 55 and older community and no children. We had seen this park a couple years ago, drove through it, and found out that sex offenders are actually allowed in the park. So as long as it's disclosed. Now, that's really rare and really weird. As long as we don't mention the name, I think we're okay. But if you know, and it's acceptable. There's also one over in Miami, and there's one down in St. Petersburg. They've got to have places to live too.
I've heard of one, Herbert Park.
There's one, over in St. Petersburg.
Is the name of the, well, I just said the name. Well, you're gonna Google it anyway. So, but so you brought me inside of a Herbert, or
but watch how it's now. It's up to the owner how they keep. I want the wood to be gone. I want the mess to be gone. And what they do on their own time is fine, as long as they're not offending the community. They've done their time, and if they're registered, I would be okay with it. But I'm not paying the ungodly price that they're asking for it. So,
what do you think the lot rents and houses go for here?
That's a great question. I have really kind of stayed out of Florida mostly on mobile home parks, mostly because they are so outrageously priced.
And I mean, these are shacks. I mean, this is a 60s model.
And they could probably ask virtually anything they want due to the nature of the people that they allow in.
They do. So you're listening in. I mean, when you have a talk about the demand, needing demand. I mean, for a sex offender, they can't just go get an apartment, a house, live in certain areas. So for them to be able to live here, I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, and notice it's a single lane. There's not much room for parking, not much room for parking.
No, they got to maximize the.
It may be a little bit dirty, but it's not trashy. You know,
it's not terrible. It's not the worst.
It's not the worst. It's not the worst. That's a good way to put it.
Far from it. Yeah. And they do have campers also. So look at that. Interesting.
And we have their attention.
We do, and we better get out of here.
Now you'll notice that some of them are RVs as well.
That's what I'm saying. They got a mixture of everything here: single wides, double wides, campers, RVs, sex offenders, no kids, right?
No children. Very specific.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So,
and it's all posted when you first drive in.
Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this episode with Brian. Great having you on here, Brian.
That was great. Yeah, so awesome for you to be down here. I can't wait to for your next class you got going up there in Atlanta.
Absolutely. We're going to go drive the Supra, have some fun. We'll see you next episode. Thank you for watching.
Bye, everybody.